What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We got a fun little install today. I've been doing lots of installs on the Bronco, so if you're sticking around looking for mods for your 6th generation Ford Broncos, you came to the right place. This episode is sponsored by Product. They are an aftermarket provider for Bronco specific and exclusive parts and accessories. You know, things from side steps, cargo management, off-road protection, interior accessories, and performance kits. A bunch of different things for you to get your Broncos, including, mud flaps. So if you're in the market for some aftermarket stuff, this might be a good place to go to look at some different things that they got for your trucks. Anyway, they reached out and asked if I would be interested in filming sort of my impressions, unboxing, and installing a set of their mud flaps on the 6th generation Ford Bronco. I have never ran a mud flap ever, so I think it's gonna look sort of like a rally car. When I get them all installed, but we'll see what it looks like after the fact, see if I leave them on there for a long period of time. But these are direct bolt on. There's no modifying, no cutting that you got to do. There's an adjustable bracket on the front and the back, so that way you can put them where you want them. I have aftermarket rear bumper, and fenders, so that might affect where they sit, so having that adjustability is kind of nice. Anyway, these are, like I said, polyurethane, stainless steel, kind of welded, looks like L-channel brackets here, and then like an aluminum sort of decorative faceplate, and then 1/4-inch polyurethane rubber, so they're pretty durable. They are heavy, so they're not like a flimsy little lightweight thing that would break or rip in a short period of time. But yeah, the 6th generation Bronco, if you get the factory tires, they do kick up a lot of rocks. So they are really prone to getting the bat fender flares really shoot up from rocks. The front door, same thing on the side. And then the door handles, if you got painted door handles, get a lot of rock chips too. So this might be something to consider. And I'm gonna kind of walk you guys through the install process, and we'll take a look at it after the fact. And then we might go see if we can find some dirty roads and rip down and see how beneficial they actually are. So let's get into the install process. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna raise the Bronco up. You don't have to have a lift to do this, obviously, but for video purposes, I figured it'd be easier to get it off the ground and get good camera angles on how they mount. So go ahead and get this thing raised up, because having a lift has been wonderful. Safety first. Put a stabilizer jack on the back of this thing. Not 100% necessary, but I like to be safe than sorry. Okay, the first step is the lower bumper bolts on either side. There's two 18mm bolts, so we need to back those two bolts out and add the bracket. Then we're essentially going to apply this bracket that comes with the kit. There's 3 holes so you can adjust them. So I'm going to put it in that hole. I'm going to leave those loosely mounted at first, kind of get a feel for how this looks. There's 2 bolts, washer, and lock nut that will be what mounts this to the main track here. All right, now that we've got it loosely hung, I'm going to go ahead and secure this hardware down. All right, so what I'm noticing is, I have aftermarket wheels, which are 0 offset, 17x9 and a 35/1250. Over here on this mount, I've got it as far out as it'll go, and it doesn't look bad. Truthfully, it's probably pretty good where it's at. So I am going to see if there is a little more adjustment in this upper slide to push it out just a little bit more. I think I can get a little bit more out of that. That's all of it right there. Okay, we're just going to do the same procedure over here on this side. This really is this is a super easy install. Like, really easy. It's going to look like a rally car. Definitely going to have rally vibes. All right, coming up to the fronts on the Bronco frames, this is where the crash bars would go. This is a Wild Track, so it does not have crash bars, so we're going to pull this factory bolt out. And then this will go back in there. Leave that loose for the time being. And same thing like on the rear. Just want to loosely mount this. It's definitely got rally car vibes. All right. All right, looks like we got to pull these 3 factory clips out and put some nut certs in there. So let's go ahead and pull those out. Okay. So next step is it has these provided, slide on nut certs. So we're going to pull that fender liner out of the way just a little bit and then slide these on. Okay, then we're going to use the provided hardware and little bracket. And get a Torx. Front is installed. This is what it looks like after it's finally put in. All hardware is secure. So this is kind of a little flap like this because I have aftermarket fender flares. So that kind of affects how this works. I think this would probably slide up inside the OEM one if I had OEMs, but it still works. You know, the flap is relatively flat still, but yeah, just a little tech tip, I guess. Again, these are engineered for the factory rear bumper. I didn't have that, so you know, there's two nutserts or provisions here to mount to the factory bumper. So just keep that in mind if you have an aftermarket bumper. There's going to be a little bit of modification that you got to do to this. So rather than this going through the flap into the factory bumper, I just did basically just drilled a hole through the back of the bumper here and ran a bolt. So, but yeah. So that's that. So that's the back. Total rally car vibes. And then the front. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower it down and we're gonna go out and rip it around and put some camera angles on the outside and see how that does. Obviously you guys saw me install the front. It's just the reverse process on the other side. I didn't film the other side on the front because it's kind of redundant. But yeah, let's lower it down and see what it looks like. All right, here we are outside of the shop. Hopefully you guys can hear me. It is so windy. I'm in South Texas and it is always windy here, which is why I try to do everything inside the shop. But wanted to show it to you outside of the truck with sunlight on them and kind of just walking around on how they look. And you know, it definitely has rally car vibes to me. I have never ran a mud flap before. I would have never have, bought a set, I guess, just because I don't have the need for them per se. Texas, it's not required, and I'm just not a mud flap guy. But there might be other states where they are required if you have oversized tires. And different people have different usage on how they use their trucks. So, it might be of value to someone to add mud flaps to their Bronco. And this is just showing you guys an offering that is available for the Bronco to put a set of mud flaps. They are definitely durable and, heavy duty mud flaps, so that's nice. I'm gonna go drive it, rip it around, see if I can't get some dirt kicked up on them. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully this was informative if you are in the market for some mud flaps for your 6th generation Ford Bronco and, got a little bit of insight on how to install a set of mud flaps on one of these trucks and maybe give you an idea of something to look for if you're making a purchase here soon. So, again, thank you so much for watching the video. Hit that like button, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Boom.